What's happening, everybody? It's Kevin in Texas. Week 10 is finally upon us, and we have a great matchup in the SEC. We usually do, but we've got a tremendous matchup in the SEC. Tennessee travels to Georgia. Now, this will be the 2:30 p.m. Central game of the week on CBS. A little bit of background about this game. Georgia has won the last 5 matchups in a row. They've won the last 10 out of 12. So history, certainly in the recent past, is on Georgia's side. Tennessee has the best quarterback in college football, Hendon Hooker. They are 8-0, and probably their most notable victory thus far this season was at home over Alabama in an instant classic win. The way I see things going down is the difference in this matchup will be the Georgia defense. They're overall ranked number 2 in the country. I think that will be the difference in this game. Traditionally, a good or great defense is going to stifle, if not shut down, a good to great offense. That's exactly what I believe happened Saturday. I see Georgia winning 34-24 in Athens. And in a more general sense, the way I look at this game, it reminds me of the classic NBA basketball, Bulls and Pistons. The Bulls were the up-and-coming team with a young Michael Jordan. They were going up against the more established Detroit Pistons, and it took them a few years to get over that hump. And that's kind of how I see things with Tennessee and Georgia. It's going to take Tennessee, I think, another year or two to get over the Georgia hurdle and to get to that dominant place in the SEC. Other action on Saturday, we move to the early game in the SEC, Florida at Texas A&M. Texas A&M, a dumpster fire. By all accounts, the students, the alumni are fed up with Jimbo Fisher. Who knows if that means they're going to fire him or not? I think the buyout is a little too high to seriously consider that right now. As far as this game goes, I see Florida winning 24-21 in Aggieland. In the Big Ten, we have Minnesota at Nebraska. I've got Minnesota winning 35-17. Staying in the Big Ten, early on, Ohio State at Northwestern. This one won't even be close. Ohio State 48, Northwestern 14. Moving to the Big 12, Texas Tech at TCU. TCU in the top 10. They look really good this season. I've got the Horned Frogs winning a close one, 35-34 over the Red Raiders. Staying in the Big 12, but moving to 2:30 Central, Oklahoma State at Kansas. Of course, the Cowboys coming off the obliteration against Kansas State, losing that game 48-0. I see Kansas winning 31-17 over Oklahoma State. Going back to the SEC at 6 p.m., Alabama at LSU. Traditionally, this has been one of the biggest games, not only in the Southeastern Conference, but in college football. This week, though, it takes the back seat to Tennessee and Georgia. In this particular matchup, I've got LSU winning 21-17. Brian Kelly so far has turned the program around after some early season struggles, and I think this puts a little bit of icing on the cake for Coach Kelly. LSU 21, Bama 17. Back to the Big 12, Texas at Kansas State. Texas looked exhausted at Oklahoma State 2 weeks ago. In the second half of that game, they appeared to be out of gas. I think Texas filled up the tank in the off week. I see them winning this game on the road, 33-30 over Kansas State. Back to the SEC, Mississippi State hosting Auburn. Auburn, a program in disarray. Brian Harsin fired. I see Mississippi State winning 20-13 at home against Auburn. Going to the ACC, we have Clemson at Notre Dame. Clemson kind of taking a hit after a very, very close win over Syracuse. I see Clemson coming out on top in this game by a score of 17-14 over the Irish. Staying in the ACC, we have Florida State at Miami, a classic rivalry from the 80s and 90s. That's kind of dropped off as of late. In this particular matchup, I've got Florida State winning by a score of 19-13 over the Hurricanes. Moving to our Pac-10 After Dark, we've got Cal at USC. At 9:30 Central, I've got USC winning 27-13. And then we also have UCLA at Arizona State. This particular matchup, I see UCLA coming out on top by a score of 42-28 over the Sun Devils. Now, last week I got back in the saddle with a 10-5 record, taking my overall to 72-35. Let's see if I can keep the momentum rolling through week 10. Now, whenever and wherever you are, I say God bless each and every one of you. Enjoy your weekend of college football, and I'll come back to visit on Sunday.